so now we're at day 2 of our 5-day project. We have the motors out, we have all the drivetrain out, we have everything taken out of the engine compartment, which you'll see. If we look down here, we've prepped the transom. We know that our bracket is only going to come down to about here, so we're going to have to fill this in just to this point. So we made our cardboard templates to go inside of here. We're going to fill up to here, and then the bracket's going to seal across the bottom here. If we come over here, we're going to use a little bit of Cusa board to do that job. We're cutting out the templates here for the Cusa board. If we come up inside the boat, you can see our engine compartment is empty. We've degreased it, and we've got it ready for a little bit of fiberglass work and a little bit of still continuing to take some things out, but we're ready to start working in there. If we come up here to the dash, since we have Verado engines, we need a place to mount all the Verado electronics, which is going to be mounted inside of here. Then we have to hook up the controls, we have to get rid of the steering, make any modifications necessary to install the Verado Mercury steering, and then reattach all our switches. We have new panels being made right now for this area and this area. This area is just going to have the Garmin. We're going to have a fuel gauge here, a power supply over here, and then later on the customer's going to install his VHF. Okay, so for the filling of the holes, we're going to use a piece of PVC board, and then we're going to screw it on like this, and that's going to provide a flat surface for when we do all the fiberglass work from the inside. All we need to do, we'll take some mold release wax, we're going to rub it on here, we're going to let it dry, and that way this board will come off when we're ready to have it off, and it'll leave us a nice flat finish on the transom to be able to seal the bracket onto. Now we're going to apply the gel coat, which will act just the same way as the finish of the boat. So to get the bracket to fit up underneath here, we're going to have to modify the swim platform. You can see I've drawn out here where the engine bracket's going to mount. So I have to cut this out. We're going to cut this valley out where that ladder used to be, and then the rigging hoses for the motors will come up through the bracket to the engines from here. Good, what a bed. Transom cutout. As you can see, we have exposed areas where the wood structure for the original transom was. This is balsa wood in here, and it can't be exposed to anything, otherwise it will rot immediately. So I've ground it out, as you can see, so it's depth. And now we're going to fill it in to protect the core material from the outside world.
Cavicil mixture, all in the flat surfaces. Then he's going to insert the Cusa board cutout. And then we'll let that kick and then lay some glass on the inside here. Woo.
Across the back, that way it's got a nice little layer. So that's something to attach to. Don't worry about that stuff that just flew out the boat. We'll clean it up later.
Wet it down first. After the Cusa board was installed with Cavicil mixture. Sandwich 2 pieces of Cusa together. Now wetting the Cusa down with resin and start to lay some mat down.
Don't be afraid to use a little bit of extra resin. And that little bit sticking off the top, that's fine. We'll just cut that off later. Just make sure you put a little bit of resin on it. That way it's actually easier to cut. Alright. And that's what
Finishing off the top side with a little resin gel coat and Cavicil mix to give it a finished look when it's done. And when that's finished, it'll all be sealed up. Alright, so now we have all our transom fixing needs done. We got the fiberglass done, and all this cures. We're going to pull off those 2 pieces of PVC board, and it'll look like a finished transom right there. And then we'll be able to put the bracket on. And now, while we're waiting for it to cure, it's voting day, so we're going to go vote. Okay, so now everything's cured. We're going to take these panels off. We're going to see how this turns out. Just a little bit of force. Yeah, we got a little bit of fill right there, but there's a nice flat surface there. And in fact, that's going to be inside the bracket. Oh, very good. We'll just sand all that smooth, and they'll be ready to go. Okay, so a lot of you are probably asking at this point why we didn't fill the whole hole in. Well, there's a specific reason for that. We're going to have all the rigging for the engines coming through these 2 holes right here, one on each side, and it's going to come into the bracket this way, it's going to come out, and it's going to go out of the bracket up here, and then to the motors. That way we don't have any kind of rigging up above, and this is a very handy access for that particular thing. That's why.